This video will demonstrate how to use the Machine Components Power App from 3D Solutions. We'll go up here and fire up our launch bar and just select on the Machine Components. That'll bring up the main form for the Machine Components. What this application is designed to do is to assist you in doing removes of all the screws, dowels, pockets, and also the additions of any mounting pads or things like that to castings in an automated way where you can select several blocks and apply the machining at once without having to do any of the manual copy pasting. So we'll get started here on the form we have where we can select a part to machine, select the parts we're going to machine it with, add and remove here, and then we have the items to machine. These would be your removal items at the top and the additions here in the bottom. You can see we have drill hole, tap hole, machine hole. There's also a drop down menu here where you can add as many additional names of bodies as you'd like to perform these actions on. Same with the adds down here as well. Those items can be changed. You'll find in the application directory there's an adds and a removes text file. Whatever items you add into those lists are what will appear in the drop down menu the next time you access the form. So you can customize that as much as you'd like to match your components if you don't use these default names. So to get started, we're just going to go ahead and select the part that we're going to machine. I'll pick this main subplate, and selecting the machining parts, I'm actually just going to pick one here, but we could multiple pick several and do all the machining at once. The reason I'm going to pick one is I'll show a couple different options we have here. So we'll start with this steel, which just has some screws and dowels in it. We'll rotate this around a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. We'll hit our finish button on that. So you can see we're machining standard block 1 with standard block 2 here. The body that it's going to machine it into is the steel body. You can machine into sub bodies in a block if you happen to build with construction methods like that where you have multiple bodies in there. It allows you to select which one you want, but it will by default do the main body. We'll pop over here and we're just going to remove the drill holes, which are the dowels, and the tap holes. This block is not machined down in, so we don't need to do machine hole, and we don't have any adds. So we select those two items. We have options down here to machine without a link if you should want to do that, and then your tooltips. But once we pick the block and pick the items we want to do, we just hit apply machining. And what that's going to do is go through and do the removes for you. So if I minimize this, you'll see we have our screw and dowel removes done in the block underneath. And if I was to hide this block, you'll see them removed there, and those are all linked up, so as we move screws and dowels, they update with it. So that's just doing the one block there. The second block here I actually have pocketed into the steel a little bit, you can see. So we have pockets with chamfers and radiuses there. So if I was going to machine that block, I'll just walk through the process again real quick with you. Select the part to machine, select our machining part here, hit OK, and we're going to do machine hole, tap hole, and drill hole this time. And then we'll apply the machining for those. If I minimize that, we'll take a look at our results here. If we hide this block, you can see it's put the machine pocket in along with the screws and the dowels. And then lastly, I'll show you a little example where we're doing an addition as well. So we'll pop back into our form here, and we're going to select the block to machine. We'll select the machining part as this wear plate. And we're going to do the tap hole because we want to remove the taps, but we also want to add a pad mount. So the mounting pad to the casting, for example, here. So same kind of concept. It will always do the adds before it does the remove. So you'll get your pad on first, then your taps removed there. So we'll apply the machining to that. And you can see here that it made the casting addition there and then did the removal for the taps as well. All very quickly and very easily. One of the real nice things about this too is I want to point out is as it's doing these removes, it groups them and names them for you here too, so you don't get an individual remove for everything you do. If you pick 10 blocks, they'll all fall underneath one tap hole remove with a collection of tap holes, and there'll be multiple blocks here. So it keeps the tree nice and short as well. Beyond that, you can use this in a variety of different ways. Any place you're doing addings, additions, and removes of any kind, you can use this. If you have something very unique and you don't want to go in and edit your text file, you can always select an item here and you can actually type in whatever you want it to be there for doing a removal or an addition. If you have an odd situation with a downloaded cam or things of that nature and you want to add those bodies, As long as you know what the body name is, you can use this tool to do those additions. And that's all there is to the functionality of the machine components, so we'll go ahead and end the video on that now.